It's a good morning to you. Welcome to Asake Online. My name is Zenzeren Dewele, and this is the Breakfast Club. Today in the program, we'll be talking to the CEO or director of Greydot, a telecommunications company or fintech company that deals with voice over data, internet services, payment systems. And we'll be talking to the CEO to find out what they are doing and the new projects that they have and how they are using technology to help communities. And the CEO of the company is none other than Siqokoqela Mphoko. I know a lot of people have heard the name. I've heard people saying different things about him. He's a humble guy. But I have him here today to talk to us, hear his aspirations. I know he's a business-minded person, and we are excited to be talking to him. Mphoko, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
So before we talk a lot, tell us about yourself. I've heard so many things about you, and I know we have not really interacted much, but
Siqokoqela Mphoko is a very humble man, above all God-fearing, family man, father, husband, a son, a brother, very private kind of a person. Anywhere you see me, you will always see my wife next to me. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here today, but I'm a very God-fearing person, very humble, very quiet. I think that is why abantu abaningi do not understand me, because I'm a very reserved person. Yes, I'm also a very firm person, straightforward and honest person. I call a spade when it comes to business. I'm not an easily approachable person. You cannot come to me with something and say ufuni bribe or anything like that. That will not be tolerated. But in terms of living my life and just being God-fearing, I love to help others where I can. If I'm able to do that, I love to do that. And I'm not a politician.
Yeah,
I'm a business person.
Yeah, it's important that you've mentioned that you're not a politician. But I mean, your father is a former vice president, and you have lived life surrounded by politicians, and probably politics has affected you one way or the other. What have you learned from politics?
Well, for me, you must also remember that my father was a civil servant. And from 1980, he was a farmer. My father is an agriculturalist with a passion in farming. My mother is a teacher by profession, and she's from Mozambique. So yes, it has its advantages and a lot of its disadvantages. Now, you must also remember that my father became a diplomat in the early 80s, but became ambassador to Botswana in 2003. And from there, he went to Russia and everywhere else. But most of the places that he went to, I wasn't there. I remember the last time I lived with Mdala was when he was in Botswana. But I had already moved out of home in ambassador, because my parents always had a teaching. My father would always take me out and say, government, Zimbabwe. I'm occupying it now because I occupy the office. Kusasa, there will be another ambassador. You must always strive to be your own man. And but I'm not a politician. I have been taught by him in order to be able to stand as a man, to stand as a citizen of any community. Fast forward to when he became VP, it was 2014, if I remember. You must always remember that I was already in business. The 20 years I spent in Botswana in business, people don't know that journey. You understand what I'm trying to say? Yes, of course, I was surrounded by that aura, but I've always been able to differentiate him as my father and him as the VP or as the ambassador. So we set up Ichopis Lapa, if you recall, 2013, and Ubaba came 2014 and so on. And people need to understand that part. There's a separation from politics and business.
So for someone who would say between 2014 and maybe 2018, you had it easy, what would you say?
No, never. Life is not easy for anybody. Life is a struggle for everybody in terms of what it is that you want to do as a person. You have to sell an idea to people. You have to walk into people's offices. You have to knock on the doors. Those people are not politicians. Those people could be politicians. They could be people from different political parties, from different political affiliations, but they are professionals. They have to deal with you. What happens if you walk into an office of somebody who is not a political member of what people think you are affiliated to? Then what happens? Those are the kind of people that you deal with on a daily basis when it comes to business. For example, I will be painted with a brush to say that I'm a politically exposed person. When I go and open a bank account, you'll open your bank account in 1 minute. Ikama will be sent somewhere. I'll have to wait. There's a process for that. But I'm not a politician. You see? So it's never easy.
Yeah.
And remember that before 2014 or 2018 or 2021, there was a build-up of Siqokoqela Mphoko. There was a build-up of him in business, in whatever it is that he's trying to achieve, from African heritage to Parkview Investments to working as a consultant for an asset management company. That's my journey, you see.
So it is quite important for you to mention these things so that people realize, no, this guy has always been in business. It's not like you were in business because your father was a politician, he was a vice president, he was an ambassador. Therefore, open good top before can I get that?
No,
you go to the bank, you get the loan and all those kind of things.
Like
but then, maybe before we even talk about what we were talking about, when you do business, in Africa or in the world, and you have that relationship with your father, is a prominent politician. There's always that feeling with it was easy for him. How has been the journey yourself as a business person?
That is not true, because you see, a lot of people need to understand that being the son of a politician puts a lot of spotlight on you. Being the son of somebody, a public figure, and you yourself trying to be a public figure, you must always understand, Oguti, I don't have anything to blame like a big shadow. My failures will be my own failures. My successes, by the grace of God, will be the successes that I have achieved through hard work. If I go to somebody's office and I ask to see that person, I must make an appointment just like you. I can send a message to somebody, maybe that person will not respond to my message until just like anybody else. They are children of politicians, prominent politicians, who do not make it in business or who do not make it in life because they want to wear the jacket of the politician who maybe be their mother or their father. Everything is on merit. You must always remember that. Whether you are in Africa, whether you are in Europe or wherever, it's your credibility and your track record that gets you somewhere. Now, you are not a person who is a fighter. You're not a person, you cannot be trusted. You have no integrity. Nobody will deal with you. It doesn't matter what level your family reaches or whatever, but you must always remember that. One thing that I want to say is that if there's a constitution in the country, that constitution looks after the person who was the office bearer. Doesn't look after anybody else. And those people must understand. So if the constitution says VP, the constitution looks after him and lo mama. I think
when the person
mina kumele ngiziphandele. So nga umdala yena kuthiwa uyaphiwa amapolisa emzini wakhe. Angiphiwa amapolisa wona lawana mina. Ipenshene kamdala asoyami. Mina, if you come to my house, if I can afford to have that security, I will pay for a private security company. Whatever ambience that he had, yena, vice president or whatever, yes, by virtue of me being his son, that means, yes, I have access to him as my father. But my father and my mother are not the kind of people abawuyekela ukuthi usebenzise position yabo or a position that belongs to the people for your self-enrichment. It will never happen. Anjabon. So you must always be able to create those Chinese walls, and the people must also understand that, because perceptions are the mother of all, wrong ideological, whatever you want to call it. So people need to understand ukuthi no, la uyaziphandela njengomuntu. I have to go and put fuel in my car. I can't go to see a meeting eating fagelani fuel. No, we are bochwa. It doesn't work. What the hero status or whatever it is that Abadala have has nothing to do with us. You must always remember that.
It's interesting that you've really put that. And now let's move to the company, Greydot.
Yes.
What is it all about?
Greydot, yes, we're a telecommunications company, we're a fintech, we're a payment solution, we're a Zoom. We've been building it for a couple of years in order to bring it to the region, Pan-African country, for African problems, to create African solutions. Greydot here in Zimbabwe has a contract with BCC. What we are trying to do is to bring convenience to the customer. When a person drives to Revenue Hall, it's time. It's time consuming. There's COVID. So we want to try and decongest Abantu from going to Revenue Hall. City Council, you must remember that this is City Council's program to be able to reach Abantu, their customers, as far as they can and bring convenience to them. So we came up with a solution that they jumped at. So we become a one-stop shop where, as you are pushing your trolley, instead of thinking, oh, Nkosian, I have to pay my council bill, Abantu, it becomes dreadful. Because you think of driving there, parking, things like that. So we give you that convenience where you go into Fazak, you go into Greens as you are shopping, and you swipe your card and, you pay your bill.
Yeah, so for someone who doesn't understand the system, I can pay my bill, whether I go for Fazak or the shops that have been designed to get these payments.
Yes.
And then it immediately reflects in my account.
What happens is that, what will happen is that because City Council is doing its reconciliation, the contract with City Council will be, when you swipe, immediately that money comes into Greydot account. Greydot then moves that money to the City Council. But when you make your payment and you swipe, you give us your WhatsApp number. Greydot has an integration with WhatsApp. So immediately an electronic receipt will be sent to you. You can use that electronic receipt as a reference to council. Remember, this is a council product. The people that we are serving are customers of City Council, including myself. So I also will be using that platform, in order to pay my bills. And then when we move it to council, council can see the reconciliation. You put in your account number, you put in your name and everything, and council will see, okay, and then boom.
So how currently, how many points do we have? Do you have, I know Mundo's a country park or Pumula is thinking, what, town.
Yes.
Do you have points?
Yes, right now we have points in the CBD and here in Woodlands, being Fazak and Fazak Gift Center in town, Joshua Nkomo Avenue. And then we have Bulawayo Space, that's just opposite Greens. And then we have another point, Greens itself, the Oceans. We are currently talking with Pick and Pay. They're in Country Park, so that a person who's in Country Park can easily swipe, bringing convenience to that customer. Now, you must also remember that, Tina, as Greydot, not only are we trying to bring convenience to the customer, but we're also trying to empower wherever we are, the local residents who are in business, because there's a commission that comes with that for those people, for Fazak, for Greens. So let's say I go to Pelandaba, and in Pelandaba there is Mrs. Gumete. Mrs. Gumete ule store, but she struggles to get his stock. So we take our system and put it to Mrs. Kumete. Mrs. Kumete, just make sure you have your internet. No, that's fine. And then Abantu can come and use that, and she makes a commission. So she'll make a percentage of everything that she collects. So that's extra revenue for her. That also pushes customers who she would not have had coming into her shop because they just have to pay the city council bill. So in essence, it's also an empowerment scheme, you see, for Abantu locals.
So I know people have been using mobile systems or money platforms to pay, and people have been complaining. I, for one, have been complaining that I sometimes use some platforms now to pay, and when my bill comes a month later, the money has not reflected.
No.
And are you bringing something different from that?
Ours is totally different, as that's why City Council has advertised it. Not to say that those guys have not been advertised, they've also been advertised, but our systems are totally different. We are an ecosystem. You see the difference with us. I cannot talk about anybody else because I do not know how these guys operate within their own mobile money or their fintechs. We have our own in-house developers. So whatever it is that we have, we develop ourselves. So we have our own team. We have our own IT team. You know, we have our own marketing team. You know, we are all an in-house, and we have perfected this. Not to say the least, I can easily say that we are 10 years ahead of the market in terms of what our product can actually offer. So if you were to come and use our product, no, it would not take a month. You know, it would not take a month for anything. It would take about 2 to 3 days before City Council sees, because you see, what actually happens here is that our system is integrated to Bulawayo City Council. So that means the IT department of Bulawayo City Council can actually see our portal. We've opened our portal and APIs to them. They've opened theirs to ours. So that means they can monitor. They can monitor each and every sale. So the IT department can monitor the sales. Okay, there's transactions. So they can compare those transactions that have been done on the system, which is live, to what they collect.
So the other thing is, you know, umuntu is pandela here and there. Is it how, in terms of cost, is it cheaper when I pay a city council directly, or it's more expensive when I pay to you, or it's the same?
Look, obviously, as a fintech, okay, Zenzel, what's the cost of doing business in Zimbabwe? That's a very interesting...
Depends who you buy.
I know. What's the cost of doing business? That's a very interesting question that you've asked, and thank you for asking it. Because, you know, I want to tell you about it. You see, if you were to drive to Revenue Hall, where do you live?
I sit in Pumula.
Right, you stay in Pumula. So how much fuel does it take you to drive from Pumula to Revenue Hall?
Yeah.
How much fuel does it take you? How much is a liter of fuel? A liter of fuel is what, 125, 130? Am I correct?
Yeah.
If it's petrol.
Yeah.
If it's diesel, it's 125. So that means that the economics of this whole thing and bringing the convenience is you are saving yourself $5 or $6 in order for you to drive into town and come back out. You are saving time. You are saving mileage on your car. You could be doing something else. So as a fintech, obviously, we do have a charge. But the cost of doing business in Zimbabwe is that there is the 2% RBZ. I can't run away from that. Neither can you. Then there are the bank charges, whatever the bank charges are. And then there's our cost, because we also have to recover our investment that we've put in to bring convenience to you. But what I can assure you is that I'm sure we're still the lowest in the market. So let's say, for example, I give an example, Guditina, we charge, let's say, 6%. If we charge 6%, that 6% is not ours, because 2% will go to RBZ and the other 2 will go for the bank charges, because the money has to be housed, don't you? When you swipe, there's a charge for that swiping. When the money gets to our account and when we move that money, there's a charge to us. So what are we doing? We are now saying, okay, fine, we will take most of that charge in order to bring that convenience. But we're also asking you guys to come in and give us a little cent or 2 cents onto that, so that we can also facilitate that. Otherwise, you would use your $5 to drive from Pumula to Revenue Hall, waste time, and all those kind of things.
I think one thing that I would say, which is a positive, is that there have been fewer centers of payment. So people have to, they have to go to a revenue hall, and you find that there are long queues there. And I hope that your system will also integrate in case kubele amanzi avalwayo, I can still pay to your place, and abantu besithi cancel bezovula izikhathi ezinjalo. But what I've heard is that every time now, sometimes when it's month end, you go there, our system is down and all these kind of things. Is your system up to?
No, our system is up to standard. Our system is up because remember, our system belongs to us. It's a Greydot system integrated to BCC. So once a person pays, those portals are open by one. You see, so the IT guys can see whatever transactions that you've made. Greydot is not there to impoverish anybody. Greydot is there to make sure that when you use our platform, we don't take and milk you like other multinationals would have done. We want to make sure, if $5 Leana, instead of you putting fuel or instead of you paying us, go and buy bread. I'm betting impu. That's what Greydot is about.
So what's the future of Greydot? Now you've started the payment systems. What are the other things that are in plans? Which other products are we likely to see?
We have our own Zoom called Greydot Live, powered by Jitsi. We're a telecommunications company. What we would love to do in the future, or let me say near future, is to set up our telecommunications company as a telecommunications company, but OTT, that's voice over data. Something like WhatsApp, we are integrated with WhatsApp, so we compete with WhatsApp. Where our SIM card can talk to any SIM card. You don't change your SIM card, it's just data. We don't even eat your data. And you can make calls to anywhere in the world for 35 cents equivalent of rands and speak per minute, crisp calls. If you take your phone right now and you go to the App Store or you go to the Play Store, if you have a Samsung or whatever it is that you're using, just go and type Greydot. You'll see our application there. So this is something that is not just Indoje. It's a proper. We're a proper telecommunications company. We're a proper fintech. You will see us in all those things. So our app is there with Apple. Our app is there with Samsung with the Play Store. So we are really out there already. We're not only in Zimbabwe, but we're worldwide. Then again, Cloud Africa. That's how we'll be able to store 7 billion people because of Cloud Africa. One of our directors is also part of Cloud Africa. And as you know, we are a cloud-based ecosystem. So that means, Tina, we are not people, we're not a system that will get congested. No. Let's say Bitcoin wants to, let's say it's processing Ismaili Zabantu or transactions a day. Bitcoin can process about 30,000 transactions a minute. Greydot can process 3 million a minute.
So you are a global company, a local company?
Yes. Yes, global company, local company. The localness comes because Tina Singabantu who are local. And the headquarters comes to Bulawayo because Bulawayo. Nice to bring development here, Nice to bring that kind of a product. And it's nice for the product to be embraced. But it's not only that, Zenzele. I think Abantu, what they also need to understand is Greydot from a social economic responsibility point of view. What Greydot wants to accomplish and what it wants to achieve is not only provide convenience for Abantu, but to also provide convenience in other things like resuscitation of sports, to support the arts industry. When I say sports, what do I mean? There are swimming pools. Right now, swimming is an elite sport because there are very few clubs where you can access. And, the club, sometimes some people might say it's $32. $32 lana agalayo. So by the people supporting us, it also assists us in resuscitating certain swimming pools in certain areas as a city council, where abantwana can now be given coaching. It is an idea that I had pitched to my late brother, Edmo Ciprianos, and I pitched to him, and we were very close. And Siqokoqela, my kids swim at his swimming locals academy, Stingrays, and they're doing very well by God's grace. And I pitched this idea to him to say, Mrs. C, she sits on the board. What can we do in order to resuscitate? Come up with products where we give back to the people who support those products so that those things are resuscitated. The arts, community, they need sponsorships, they need this, they need a lot of things. We can assist that and through these kind of sponsorship. Benkuluma lo Roderick Fayayo the other day. He's one of my very, very close. I could say he's a brother. He's a younger brother. My ideas, schoolroom and all those things. And I was talking to him to say, let's get it out as much as we can. What I want to see what Greydot is all about. It's not there to milk anybody, but we want to plant back into society. We want to plant back to give our children opportunities that they would not have. That's what Greydot is all about.
I think lastly, what are the challenges that you're facing, if any?
Hey, the challenges that we're facing is getting the word out. Abantu, when they see a product, they think, oh, this thing is going to milk us. Oh, look how it. No, try it. Try it. That's the only challenge that we're facing. People need, yes, it's just been rolled out. It's been a couple of days. City Council has the PR department, City Council, the finance department, and, just the guys that we have worked with within that institution have been amazing. The professionalism that they have displayed put me into awe. You hear so many things about council, but, from the economic planning side, Mr. Moyo, to Mr. Demand, Mr. Mpunzi, Kiwani, Mrs. Mapena in the finance department, it's just wow. It just blew me away, all the way to the PR to say, wow. But now it's for the people. It's for the people to support this product. It's for the people to see the convenience that it's bringing to them. Not for them to think, oh, no. No, it's not that. What we have put in is far much more, because remember, we have invested in something and we have put in dollars, but we're getting bonds back, and we're okay with that. We know that over time, the investment will pay back by God's grace.
Thank you very much. That was Siqokoqela Mphoko, who is the CEO director of Greydot company, a company that has just introduced payment systems for payment bills, City Council rates. I hope that will be come to a convenience for you, because I know people owe City Council a lot of money, and the reasons being aslamali, kukachana, ulama queues, a City Council when we are going to pay. So these payment points are going to be shops where you shop daily, in places where you pass by, and probably it will help you pay your bills on time and save you the time you'll be line revenue and other housing offices. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And we hope we'll be talking to you in a year or two,
when
the product has been successful, or when you are introducing another product.
Thank you.
My name is Zanzer Ndebele, and this was the Breakfast Club. Till we meet again tomorrow, have a good day.